A favor del sí han estat 2.020.144. 2.020.144, que representa el 90%. En blanc hi ha hagut 45.586, que representa el 2%. I també hi ha hagut 20.129 vots nuls, que representa el 0,89%.
Europe has an extensive history of shifting, expanding, and decreasing territories, which result in a complex territorial structure nowadays. Currently, there are 100 groups in 29 countries that are seeking greater autonomy from the central government or self-determination from their motherland. Among the most famous ones is Catalonia's constant push for independence in 2017. It's widely covered in international press, sparking a fierce debate about the role of state sovereignty and territorial integrity in the 21st century. In Spain, the Trans-Basin Diversion System and its physical infrastructures were established during the Franco regime from late 1930s to mid-1970s. Known as a period of autocratic modernization in Spain, during which a new version of centralized power in managing water arose. Over 4 decades, a series of projects aiming at moving water to deficient ones and connect all the basins in Spain were carried out, shaping a hydrological, highly controlled landscape littered with more than 1,200 dams, reservoirs, and canals. Water is seen as the key to Spain's modernization since the late 19th century, and Catalonia is situated at the core of Spain's centralized water infrastructures. The formation of Spain's modern waterscape is closely related to the movement known as Regeneracionismo, or Regenerationism. Spanish elites argue that the greatest obstacle which prevents Spain to improve production is the absence of humidity in the soil because of insufficient rainfall. Some technocrats saw the drainage basin-based geographical regionalization as a better way to conceptualize Spain's territory than the traditional political administrative divisions, which is known as hydrographic confederations. The expansion of Spain's hydraulic infrastructure came into full speed under the fascist Franco regime after the end of the Civil War in 1938. More than 800 dams were constructed in Spain in the 20th century, among which more than 120 were built in the Catalonia autonomous region. It continues through the 1970s to early 21st century. For example, a grandiose scheme of constructing 14 trans-basin water diversion projects and hundreds of new dams to further connect all Spanish river basins and centralize the power of water control was announced by the Spanish government in 1993. Although Spain is the country with the most per capita reservoir in the world, the volume of available purified water is far lower than the United States, United Kingdom, or China. In 2010, the total catchment of the internal Catalan basin was 1,587 cubic hectometers and the consumable was 1,301 cubic hectometers. Water extractions for urban and agricultural consumption and regulation of the flow of rivers from reservoirs are activities that reduce the amount of water available. Water plays a central role in Catalan's negotiation with the Spanish government for its independence. So far, Catalonia's effort towards water independence has weakened due to the following 3 reasons: central control, external resources, and disparate water ownerships. First of all, Catalonia's waterscape is highly engineered, with the hydrographic confederations. Apart from big dams, a total of 101 vias are located in the Llobregat basin, mostly to provide water for hydroelectric power, irrigation, and industrial use. But the evolution of supply and demand coupled with drought crisis has deemed these measures insufficient. For example, during the 2008 Catalonia drought, the imported water by the ship road from Tarragona and Marseille in France. Secondly, along the same line as getting water from France, the road to Barcelona aqueduct and dam project has been promoted since 1995. This transnational water transferring scheme is promoted by Catalans as a way of detaching from Spain's centrally controlled water system. However, this project is essentially following the regenerationism scientific technocratic engineering mission, mobilize the water resources at territorial scale through the expansion of green infrastructure. This transnational project will produce new scales of the hydro-social cycle, clinging to French dominance, satisfying the Catalan economic elites and the water lobbies. The third obstacle to Catalonia's water independence is the disparity between surface water and groundwater ownership of Spain. Groundwater was declared a public domain resource in Spain in 1985, but the real implementation of such a declaration has encountered many difficulties in practice. In responding to the political uncertainty of the Catalonian crisis, as well as the extreme climate in the Mediterranean regions, this project challenged the regenerationism model of water management, which is centrally planned and controlled, green infrastructure dependent, and surface water focused. Instead, by proposing a dispersive, soft, or green infrastructure-based and groundwater-focused water management scheme for the autonomous region of Catalonia, the project aims to help Catalonia better prepare for unpredictable severe weather, as well as build political bargaining power through a performative waterscape. The majority of hydraulic infrastructure in Catalonia are approaching the end of their lifespan in the next 2 or 4 decades, while dams such as Panalabes on the Llobregat River has a lifespan of 100 years. However, sediment trapped behind dam has greatly reduced its reservoir capacity. In addition, with the Pyrenees set to be ice-free by mid-century due to the global warming, they won't have enough capacity in facing of flash flooding or extreme drought in the coming decades. Furthermore, Catalonia is facing rapid structural change in the industrialized economies. Catalonia was one of the first regions of Spain to industrialize by textile manufacturing in the 18th century. However, with the textile industry shifting largely to developing countries, the relationship between water and the Catalonia's economy need to be reconsidered. The agricultural areas predominate the plain areas around Manresa, followed by township and factories, was used to be an important industrial area with textile, metal, and glass industries. Taking Llobregat River in Catalonia as an example, this project will reveal how the dispersive, soft infrastructure-based, and groundwater-focused water management scheme will be established in 3 phases. Erosion are driven by the aggregation of the channel belt or loss of channel capacity by in-channel deposition. The simulation shows that the erosion happens after a certain amount of flooding. The river is supposed to be dynamic, and it always expects to create new channels. Firstly, an inflatable dam place where the erosion would occur and accelerating the new formed channel. These channel diversions will increase the capacity of the river and holding water for a long time. New trees will be planted along the levee for soil stabilization. At the same time, original houses along the new channels will be removed and relocated the inhabitants to the water collection point. New road networks linked with the original network intersection and the new housing location. Later, pits as offline flood storage would be framed by cutting and filling the terrain. These pits are to maximize the water capacity in flooding peaks and redistribute throughout the drought periods. Also, they would be used as fish ponds for agricultural income. New sedimentation will be collected and be transported to the alluvial sectors for crop rotations. This agricultural production will be offered to the local markets and nearby towns. The leftover space will become seasonal park. As the growth of inhabitants, new building typologies such as public urban areas appear at the never get flood areas, and some of the fish ponds merge with the fields to agroforestry. It functions as a windbreak for stabilization of water edge and also produces more than isolated fish ponds and crop fields. At the same time, the capacity of Bear's Reservoir dropped to only 30% and the extreme climates occur more flooding and drought. The edges of the seasonal parks grow into wetland parks and they can provide a larger buffer zone for more water, more tourism values, and ecological service for habitats. Food factories start operating and produce more valuable food products for exporting. The usage of groundwater increases to 45% due to the preparation of the last phase. Finally, the site has the ability to deal with the post-scenario of the damming of the Bears. With the system connected to each township, it becomes a powerful landscape machine for handling catastrophic floods, improving the water recycle system, and help resupplying the groundwater to Barcelona metropolitan.